everyone, my name is Antonia and this is PerryPictures. And I am back with another Draw My BitLife video, this time playing the randomly generated Ella Johansson, born to 40-year-old single mom Emma, who got artificial insemination. She was born in Sweden, and there was a Bad Santa challenge going on during this time, but since she's not a male, I opted not to take it. Ella did bite her mom when she was taken in for a vaccination, which pretty much sets the tone for the rest of Ella's rebellious life. But that didn't stop Mom from getting Ella a puppy named Elena, which she absolutely loves. And I have gotten a lot better at the eye exam portion of this game since Jasper's playthrough, so we passed that, and Ella doesn't have to wear glasses. Despite being extremely happy and healthy, young Ella starts school dumb as a rock and just as cute, but gets smarter after doing a 3D puzzle given to her by a family friend. At this point, I'm a little bit concerned that she's going to really struggle with this life if we don't get her smarts up, so we're going to mind our P's and Q's for the first couple years and focus on school. I did mention at age 2 that she really enjoyed being read to by her mom, so I invest some time into reading a couple books with Ella. And then we establish her first friendship since her puppy Elena with a kid in her grade named Abe Ackerman, and he becomes her ride or die essentially for the rest of her life, which is pretty cool. By the age of 9, Ella is ready to commit her first crime, so she conceals her appearance with some headwear and some eyewear before going on her first porch pirating heist and escapes with a fidget spinner that she sells at a pawn shop for $5. Some Christmas carolers show up to wrap up the year and sing Last Christmas to Ella. Then her neighbor, feeling generous, gives her a new hairstyle, which improves Ella's looks and proves that age 9 was a really good year for her. She then becomes obsessed with Goosebumps books, and at age 10, who wouldn't be? Honestly, I loved Goosebumps books, so I can relate. Eager to repeat her earlier success with the fidget spinner, she goes back out again and steals another package, this time a keg, at the age of 10, so I'm not sure what more she could have done with it other than sell it to the pawn shop, but hey, they gave her $36. At age 11, Ella asks Alfred to the school dance, but he turns her down, so I have excluded him from this group drawing. Instead, we have Abe, Ella, Edvin, and Vigo. Ella attends a pizza party at Abe's house, and by the age of 12, they are officially BFFs. Still a big fan of reading, she spends a little extra time at the library this year and studies a little extra bard. But don't let that behavior fool you, because in the same year, she and Abe shoot out the windows of a decrepit abandoned building, perhaps out of grief for Elena's death. At age 13, Ella takes a huge risk asking her best friend Abe to move into a romantic relationship, but gets friend-zoned. And that's where this other character, Edvin, comes in. Edvin seems to be all up in Ella's personal space, which leads to her very first kiss. However, when Ella asks Edvin if he would like to be her boyfriend after that, he says no. Feeling really rejected and unseen, at 14 years old, Ella decides to sign up for TikTok. She and her friends have some fun making videos and doing viral challenges. She gains a little validation there, but nothing quite like the thrill of getting away with stealing another package. She lifts a game board and sells it to the pawn shop for another $8, right before hitting the streets again and stealing another package, this time Ant Farm, which she sells for $23. By the time she's 15, she's a smooth criminal, getting away with vandalism and theft, and still has time to make new friends. Like this new guy, Vigo, who I didn't realize at the time has her exact same last name. Ella reinvents herself with a new hairstyle and picks up an honest job as a newspaper delivery person for the Gothenburg Telegraph, which seems all well and good until she blows it, getting caught stealing on her route. Ella has to drop out of school and serve 1 year in juvenile detention, but then she gets to go back to school at age 16 and take her driver's test, which she failed. No longer trusted as a newspaper delivery girl, she gets a part-time job as an ice cream scooper and seemingly has turned over a new leaf. She spends some time rekindling her relationships with her family and her friends, her mom, Vigo, and Abe, paying particular attention to Vigo since Abe already friend-zoned her once. Ella goes shopping and upgrades her wardrobe with a brand new style, which helps improve her looks as well. Using some of that cash she earned in her part-time job as an ice cream scoop, she decides that she's also going to the salon to get her nails done too. Finally feeling more than 50% pretty, she decides to ask Vigo out, and he says yes, making it her first ever boyfriend right before graduation. Ella applies to university for a journalism degree, sneaking her way back into the media industry. All grown up, she and Vigo have consensual sex for the first time with almost perfect satisfaction for both.
Oh, yeah.
And immediately get pregnant. Maybe it's for baby, but Ella decides to keep her nose clean and stay out of trouble, focusing hard on her studies for the rest of the year. She and Vigo name their son Elliot Johansson and decide to elope, which made Ella's mom angry, but they smoothed things over. Vigo is also a student and part-time receptionist, so neither of them really have very much money. I wasn't sure how they raised a baby in a dorm, so I'm thinking maybe they moved back in with Ella's mom while they were figuring things out. Obviously itching for another thrill, at age 19, Ella goes shoplifting and steals a Harry Potter puzzle. It's not worth much, but she gets away with it and pawns her prize. In the same year, she has to see a doctor to cure her hemorrhoids. But feeling much better, she and Vigo do the do and get pregnant again.
Oh, yeah.
At 20 years old, she names baby number 2 Vincent Johansson and vaccinates Elliot. This was a big family year for Ella. She and Vigo volunteered at a food shelter, she took her mom to chop down a Christmas tree, and her son Elliot to a baseball game, as well as her best friend Abe to a Hanukkah festival. And I decided to put our journalism major in this dress because it is a popular choice for news anchors. She graduates pregnant with baby number 3 and applies for a job as a junior reporter for Zenith TV and starts working immediately, which is pretty remarkable for someone with as many skeletons in their closet as our vandal, thief, and shoplifter has in hers. To celebrate this new job, Ella decides to take her family on a Mediterranean cruise, and they all have a phenomenal time. Not to mention that Ella also learned a Mediterranean dish in her cooking class on board. When they return home, she retook her driver's license test and, knowing she needs a car to get to work, bought a used purple Porsche Cayenne, I think I'm saying that right, in good condition. She and Vigo do make some cute and smart babies, which is a relief, considering how she was neither. Age 22, her third son was born, and they decided to name him Elias Johansson. I always forget to have my BitLifers quit their part-time jobs when they get a full-time gig, so at 23 years old, I did that, and it paid off immediately because she turned 24 and got promoted to senior reporter at her full-time job. I have her write a will since her family has grown so big, but I also become suddenly aware of just how tight finances are now. And I'm not sure if it's because she has 3 kids, or her husband hasn't really advanced in his career since college, or if it's something to do with him maybe having secret debts that she doesn't know about, but they are in trouble. I spent some time having her suck up to her coworkers and her boss, but at this rate, even a promotion won't make up the difference. They really only have one asset to their name, and that is their car. I tried to sell Ella's car, but nobody wants it, and to make things even more difficult, Ella's pregnant again.
Oh, yeah.
To make matters even worse, her boss asked her to put in some unpaid overtime, which absolutely has to coordinate with the fact that now she's having altered speech issues that are the result of migraines. She gets treated for those and cured right before she goes back to trying to sell her car again, which still does not work. The only real plus side here is that Grandma Emma got to retire from her job, so at least that was worth celebrating. But then things turn dark again as Emma experiences a miscarriage in her first trimester. To try and earn some extra scratch, Ella goes looking for another part-time job. She applies to a couple different roles and gets hired on as a collection specialist, making $26 an hour. Her stress meter goes way up as she puts her nose to the grindstone at both of her jobs. Despite that, Ella still manages to get pregnant again. Right around the time her car breaks down, so in with the new and out with the old, I guess. Ella gives birth to their very first daughter when she turns 28 years old, and they decide to name her Edith Johansson. Ella goes immediately on birth control and unfortunately isn't given any maternity leave at her job. Rather, her boss asks her to do another bout of unpaid overtime, which this time she refuses. At negative $57,335 in debt and growing, Ella feels like she has no other choice but return to her roots as a born criminal, which will lead to some really unexpected surprises in part 2 of this BitLife journey. So please subscribe and stay tuned.